We are doing well, but we need to look ahead and prepare for future challenges. And one of the biggest challenges ahead of us, indeed of many countries, is climate change. The global community of nations is focused on this challenge. Countries are intensely negotiating on this issue. The leaders will be meeting in Copenhagen in December to discuss it. And in Singapore's own neighborhood, regional cooperation is also vital. So the ASEAN Plus 3 environmental ministers met in Singapore this week to discuss ways to protect the environment, and we are happy to have them here this evening with us, enjoying CGW Singapore. Singapore is a tiny country. Our carbon emissions are a negligible part of global emissions, like 0.2%. Furthermore, we are not an Annex 1 country under the Kyoto Protocol. That means, if you're in Annex 1, that means you have an international obligation under the treaty to make absolute cuts in your carbon emissions. That means whatever number you had before, you must make that number smaller. That's provided you are in Annex 1 to the treaty, but Singapore is not in Annex 1 to the treaty, so we don't have this obligation. Also, unlike many bigger countries, we face serious limitations in switching to alternative energy sources or reducing our dependence on fossil fuels. We don't have geothermal energy, we don't have mountains and rivers where you can generate hydroelectric energy, we don't have space where you can put a nuclear plant and you can have a nuclear power station. All we have is power stations in Singapore which import either gas or oil or some other fossil fuel and have to burn that so that we can make a living for ourselves. So we are what you would call alternative energy disadvantaged. The Almighty has not been fair to us. But nevertheless, we are a responsible member of the international community, and we have to bear our fair share of the collective global effort to reduce carbon emissions. Therefore, provided other countries also commit to do their part in a global deal, we will reduce emissions from business at as usual levels and do what we need to do together with other countries to reduce humankind's CO2 emissions.